Hello and welcome everyone. It is time for Jim Comics Top Picks for New Comic Book Day this upcoming Wednesday, December 11th, 2019. We've got another good week of books coming. The last couple have been a little light, not so much this one. This is going to be a pretty heavy week this week. There's some good stuff coming out, which I'll get into shortly. As usual, I want to say a quick thank you to all my subscribers on YouTube and followers on Instagram. You're all awesome. I say it every week, and I mean it. There's so many good people in this community, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos and send me comments and tips and everything else. So thank you so much, everybody. And also, I forgot to mention Key Collector Comics app. I usually, it's funny. As you know, if you watch my channel, if I like something, I recommend it. If I don't like something, I don't recommend it. And that's the great thing about I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any advertisers to worry about. I just tell you what I think, and I like the app, so I recommend it. It's a free download from the App Store. If you want to try full access to the app for a week, just put in the code JimComics, and you can try the whole thing for a week. You get all the updates and info and everything else on there. It's really good, and he's got a ton of stuff in the library which you can search characters and books and everything else. It's really good. So anyways, if you're interested in that Key Collector Comics app, it's really good. I like it. And while I'm talking about him, I'm going to talk about a couple other people too here. Nick went to the New York Comic Con, and he sent me a few books. I've been chatting with him for a few years. We both kind of started doing I started my channel a few years ago, and he started his app a few years ago, kind of around the same time as Comic Tom and Bueller and a bunch of other people, which are both great channels. I like Bueller. I got to get on his show one of these days. But Nick sent me Stabby Bunny New York Comic Con exclusive, and it's signed by Ed McInnes down there, which is really cool. He also sent me Powers of X #5, the black and white variant, and I got two of the these are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Power Ranger #1, which is out. When did that come out? Not last week or next week? I don't know. It's coming out. I can't remember when it is. But anyways, he sent me. There's that variant. And then there's also this variant. I got two different variants for the same book, so that's pretty cool. I'm not a huge Ninja Turtle fan, but I do like some of the stuff. I mean, I got some of the stuff from back in the 80s, but those are really cool. So thanks, Nick. I really appreciate that. I call him a knob a lot, but I consider him a friend, so thank you very much. And then I also got one of my subscribers, Ryan. Al Ewing was doing a signing in Texas, and he's down in Texas. And he got a bunch of Immortal Hulk books signed, and my favorite one of the bunch is he got number 18, which is a great cover, and it's signed by Al Ewing, and he put Puny Jim in a bubble on the cover, which is really funny. I really like that. So thanks so much. He sent me a bunch of books. I'm not going to show them all, but he got a bunch of books signed by Al Ewing, a bunch of Immortal Hulks. He got a few books signed by Cullen Bunn. That's a good book right there. He also got Deceased #2, that's the first Black Canary as a Lantern, if I remember right. Yeah, Black Canary is a Green Lantern. That one's signed by Trevor Hersey, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's really, so thanks so much, Ryan. That's awesome. He sent me a bunch of books. I'm not going to show them all, but it's awesome. So yeah, that's really cool. And Ryan, he got some of his books. So my comic shop shout out today is Sanctuary Books and Games. They're in Irving, Texas. Images on the screen of the store. They got, obviously, all the gaming stuff. They got comic books and trades and toys and everything else. Looks like a cool store. And apparently they give him a pretty good deal on some of those books which he took to get signed, so I really appreciate that. So thank you to Sanctuary Books and Games. Address and phone number for them is down in the comments. If you happen to be in the area, stop by, say hello, set up a pull list. I am sure they will be happy to help you out. So Sanctuary Books and Games, you are my shout out today. Everything's bigger in Texas, right? Isn't that what they say? So we'll start out with what I'm looking at this week. Man, there's a lot of good stuff. From Boom, I got Red Mother #1. This looks really good. Kind of a horror story. I love this horror. There's such an... I'm still working on my book, folks. It's just taking me so much longer than I thought it would. It's really tough to try and get the story, because I'm trying to really get the writing part done first before I start doing the drawing, and it's tough to... Anyways, I'm not a professional writer, but to get it to where I want it, it's a lot harder. Anyways, I'm rambling here. But Red Mother #1, there's 3 covers for that. It looks really good. And don't forget, Boom has started doing these 1 per store thank you variants. So I almost guarantee you there will be one for this book, or actually I know there will be. So if that's something you're interested in, talk to your shop or send them, talk to them before Wednesday and see if they're willing to sell it to you if that's something you're interested in. And just on a side note, they've already announced second and third printings for this. They come out January 11th, so you'll see images of those on the screen as well. They will be a lower print run, and hopefully they're not allocating like they did for some of their other books, because I know my shop ordered a bunch and never even got them, so we'll see what happens. But Red Mother #1, that looks really good. Something is Killing the Children #4, 2 covers for that one. That is also out this week, and that's been a good title. I really enjoy that one. Boone's putting out some really good stuff right now, man. There's some of the indies I've said for quite a while, I sure hope you're looking at indies, because there's some really good stuff. From IDW, we've got Dying is Easy #1. This looks pretty interesting. There's 4 covers for this. You got 2 regular covers, A and B. Then you've got a 1 for 10, and then a 1 for 25. Now, I don't know how many shops are going to have those, because I'm not sure, being obviously a smaller title, I don't know how many shops are going to order 25 copies in, but that'll be a tough one to find, in my opinion anyway. Some of the bigger shops might have it, but I don't know. I know mine won't for sure. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #100. I just mentioned earlier that I'm not a huge Ninja Turtles fan, but obviously I bought a lot of stuff back in the 80s, and I remember the cartoons and everything else. But this is a fairly big issue. Milestone issue here, #100, and there's 5 covers for this. You got 2 regular covers, A and B, regular price. You got a 1 for 10, 1 for 25, and a 1 for 50. So if you're interested in any of those, talk to your shop if you haven't already, because they're going to be tougher to get. Well, although I think this one will be ordered pretty heavy. So from Image, we've got Gideon Falls #19. That train just keeps rolling along. Got 2 covers for that one. That's been a good series. Undiscovered Country #2 is out this week. 2 covers for that one, both regular price, so don't have to go crazy looking for variants and everything else. And that's it for my indies. That's the only ones I'm looking at indies this week. From DC, I've got Batman Curse of the White Knight #5. 2 covers for that one. And Sean Gordon Murphy, man, his stuff is so good. And he's already, saw a message from him the other day that he's already going ahead on Volume 3. So there's going to be a Volume 3 coming down the road. I sure hope you got Volume 1, because that Volume 1 is, that's a great series. And Neo Joker and everything else showing up in there. That was a good one. Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child #1. You got a whole bunch of covers for this. Frank Miller, I'm going to buy a copy, but I was a huge Frank Miller fan. Well, I still am, of his early stuff as Daredevil and his Dark Knight, and what else did he do? Sin City, all that stuff was so good, and his artwork is good, but I just found lately his art and his writing has kind of been, it just hasn't been up to what I consider to be his earlier stuff. So we'll have to wait and see if this is any good or not, but I'm definitely going to buy it and check it out. Bunch of cover. You got a couple regular price covers. You got a 1 for 10, 1 for 25, a 1 for 100, and a 1 for 500. So there's there's definitely a bunch of covers to get for this one if you're interested. I'm really hoping it's good, because man, when he's on, his stuff is a home run. So I'm really hoping it's good. I got Dollhouse Family #2. 2 covers for that one. The first one was pretty good, and I'm going to check that one out for sure. One book I really recommend you get is Far Sector #2, and it's only 1 cover this week, which is weird, but I would have expected a couple covers. But yeah, Far Sector #2, don't miss out on that one. I really suspect this one's going somewhere. This Joe Moline, I'm not trying to say that other rest of her name. Superman #18, I don't know, I'm on the fence with this one. There's 2 covers for that. Apparently, his identity, a pair of glasses doesn't hide his identity, in my opinion. But anyways, in comics, I guess it can. But I'll check that. I'll flip through that one at the comic store, see what's going on with that. That's it from DC this week. For Marvel, you got 2 Annihilation Scourge books out this week. You've got Beta Ray Bill #1 with 2 covers. And then you've also got Silver Surfer #1 with 2 covers as well. So those are out this week. Captain Marvel #13. This series has been really good all the way through, actually. It was funny. It's one I wasn't going to get initially, and it's been pretty good, I have to say. I got 4 covers for Captain Marvel number 13, and it's a continuation of that whole Dark Star story and everything else, so I'm enjoying that. That's a good one to get. Doom 2099 number 1. It's funny, you know, I said a while back that I wasn't buying any of the 2099 books, and then I read the Conan one, or no, I didn't read the Conan. I bought the Conan one just because it was first Conan in 2099 in comics. I read the Venom 29, and it was really good. I have to say, you know, remembering back to the 90s when the other books, this one was really good, and it's got a new character and a new Venom and everything else. Hey, so I was really impressed. I have to say it. So Doom 2099's got 4 covers, 2 couple regular price ones, a one for 25, and then a really nice one for 50, which is a Zaffino cover. And I know Justice for Comics will be getting that because he's a huge Zaffino fan. And it's a nice looking cover, so if you can get that one, hey, I'd recommend it. It's going to be a little pricey though, so just remember that. Fallen Angels number 3 is out this week, just the 1 cover. That's actually surprisingly been a pretty good series. I didn't think it would be, but it's one of the ones I am enjoying reading one of the most. I like X-Men and Fallen Angels. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 14, just the 1 cover for that. There is a Giant Size Defenders number 3. I'm only showing this because I've shown this book a couple times, and it's just a facsimile, but it's first appearance of Korvac and everything else. And that book has jumped up in price quite a bit. I'm not getting it, but I do have the original one. So, Immortal Hulk number 28. As you know, I'm a huge Immortal Hulk fan. 2 covers for that one. And it's funny. I've heard a few people say, "Oh, these titles, you know, they started out great and they've kind of petered off and not doing much." And I agree, they've kind of slowed down a bit. And part of it, I really blame a lot of these tie-in big events they do, like War of the Realms and this Absolute Carnage they just had. I mean, it takes the stories off track. I've said it before. It kind of sidetracks everything and takes everything off where everything was going. But, you know, now that these events are over, I really suspect they're going to start getting back to, you know, what they were doing before. And I love Immortal Hulk and Al Ewing's writing. I think it's just great. So I'm definitely picking that. Marvel's Avengers Iron Man number 1. This is one I really suggest you pick up if you weren't even thinking about it. There's 5 covers for this. There's 3 regular price covers, and then a 1 for 10 and a 1 for 50. And part of the reason, well, it's going to be a new look at a whole bunch of classic villains, but it also brings them all into the Gamerverse, and it's also bringing back the Lethal Legion. Apparently, is showing up in here, and I'm going to talk quickly about the Lethal Legion for a second. In Avengers 676, you got your first appearance of the Lethal Legion. This is a really good book. This whole No Surrender series was so good. There was so much good stuff happening in here. You had obviously Immortal Hulk showing up. You had the Challenger showing up. Voyager showed up. This is Voyager's first full appearance, 676. And it's also first appearance of the Lethal Legion. So there is a second print of 676, which has the Lethal Legion on the cover. So that's a really good, that's a low print run too. The regular cover was only about 40,000. This one was around 6,000 from what I can understand. So, and the interesting thing is, in the book, there's a big splash page. You got the Lethal Legion and the Black Order kind of, this is what the inside of the book looked like. This image is from 676, and it's funny that 676 has the Lethal Legion on the cover, and then 677, the next issue, has the image from 676 with the Black Order on the cover, so it gives you kind of a connecting cover set, which is really cool. And normally they don't take an image from a previous book to put it on the next issue, so it was kind of cool they did that. So if you got both of those second prints for 676 and 677, it's a really good one to get. And like I say, 676 is your first appearance of the Lethal Legion, and that is their first cover appearance on the second print, so it's a really good one to get if you can find it. You should be able to find these in the back issue bins pretty cheap, because I don't think anybody's looking for them or realizes that that's their first appearance. So it's a really good one to get. And with them bringing in them into the game and into this comic, they're going to get a lot of exposure. So I would highly suggest you hunt those down. Right now they're dirt cheap, so good ones to get. That is something I would recommend for sure. I'm going to leave that there in the center just so you can Kind of look at that because it's kind of a cool cover. And like I say, I don't remember. There's not a lot of times where you get they take an image from a previous book to put on another cover, but I'm going to put those out on display because that's really cool. Excuse me. And the 1 for 10 design cover there, that's one I really recommend you try to get because I think this series it kind of reminds me of when Spider-Verse came along. Now they've got the Gamerverse, so I would recommend you get that one. That's one of my picks this week for sure. Miles Morales number 13, got 2 covers for that one. I'm kind of on the fence with that. Morbius 2, got 3 covers for that. You got 2 regular price covers. Ryan Brown's doing cover A, which it's a nice cover, but I don't know, I just don't like the image. And then cover C is a 1 for 25 if that's something you're interested in. New Mutants number 3, just the 1 cover, just like Fallen Angels, you only got the 1 cover. And it's interesting that Xandra, the daughter of Professor X, is showing up in there, so that's pretty cool. Punisher Soviet number 2, 2 covers for that, 1 regular priced cover, and then a 1 for 25, and that's actually been really good. And you got that new Soviet version of the Punisher who showed up in the first issue. You didn't see him till right at the end of the book, right at the last page. So this will technically be his first full appearance, so this is a good one to get. I'd recommend that. Spider-Man 2099, I talked about the 2099 books. I wasn't going to buy any of these, but I was saying to somebody that they went and did the Venom one, and they sucked me right back in, and my wallet too, so got 3 covers, 2 regular price, and a 1 for 25. Also got Spider-Verse number 3. This is one I would highly recommend you pick up this week. It's just the 1 cover, and it sounds like we got a new villain showing up in there, so definitely pick that up. And all these Spider-Verse books, man, are they worth getting, because there's so much stuff showing up in these that ends up showing up in the movies and everything else. So Spider-Verse number 3, definitely get that this week. And then last one is X-Force number 3. I don't know if I'm going to get that one. I haven't. That one's one of the. I don't know. I probably will, but a lot of those DX books, I'm going to end up dropping a few of them pretty soon. Definitely going to stay with X-Men though. I love that. So my covers, I only got 3 that I like this week. I got Justice League Odyssey number 16, cover B. It's a Perillo cover. It's pretty darn nice. Superman number 18, cover B is a scan variant. That one's really nice as well. And I mentioned the Doom 2099 number 1. It's the 1 for 50 Zaffino variant. That one's really nice. And his artwork's nice. It's going to be pricey though, so if that's something you're interested in, go for it. But don't expect it to jump up much more than what people are asking now. So my picks this week, I got a few for you. I got Red Mother number 1 from Boom. That one looks pretty good. That one looks interesting. Far Sector number 2 from DC. I enjoyed that one. The artwork, Jamal Campbell's artwork is great. Can't wait to read that one. Captain Marvel number 13, continuation of that Dark Star storyline, and should be the first full appearance of Vox Supreme because he showed up in the last one. This should be his first full appearance. Got Immortal Hulk number 28 showing up this week, and I know that's slowed down a lot of people saying the last few issues, but I expect it to start picking up again. I will never stop reading that as long as Al Ewing is writing it. It is great. One I think is going to kind of fly under a lot of people's radars is Marvel's Avengers Iron Man number 1. That's one I recommend you pick up, especially that 1 for 10 character design variant. I really recommend you get that if you can. Most shops should be bringing in enough copies that you can get that for a decent price. Don't pay much more than, ratio for it. $10 is the most I would pay for it. Spider-Verse number 3. Highly recommend this one again because this one looks like it's got a new villain showing up, and anything in the Spider-Verse series, they're good. I recommend those. And last one is from IDW is Dying is Easy number 1. That looks pretty interesting. So that is it for my books I'm looking at this week. And a couple more books. These are kind of a couple spec books. These have been around for quite a while. Thor number 364. I know a lot of you know about this. It's the first time that Thor is turned into a frog. Like, it's a full appearance of him as a frog. He doesn't wield Mjolnir in this, so he's technically not Throg. But it is the first time he's in like the full appearance of him as a frog, so it's a really good one to get. It's because I just have a weird feeling that he's going to show up as that again somewhere down the road. Don't ask me why. It's just something that Anyways, and while I'm on the topic of Thor, I know this one's kind of been making the rounds lately. Is What If featuring Thor. It's from 2006, and it's where Thor becomes the Herald of Galactus. We got the new Thor title coming out in January, so that's just one I recommend you look for in the back issue bins, and try not to pay the stupid eBay prices, because I mean it's gone up quite a bit, but that's one I would suggest you look for. Just hint there. And don't forget, folks, if you can find it, try to pick up Avengers 676 and 677, the second print, just because you get the connecting covers, especially 676, because that's your first cover appearance of Lethal Legion, who is showing up in that Marvel's Avengers Iron Man Gamerverse thing. So really good. So anyways, that's it for this week, folks. Take care. Happy. Oh no, hang on, hold on. Whoa, hey, whoa. I forgot. I got a list of stuff coming down the road I wanted to talk about. Man, I haven't done this for a while. I almost forgot to talk about it. So I want to talk about a few books coming out early January that you're going to want to look at. I mean, a lot of these you'll know about, but I'm going to cover them off anyways. Start with Miss Marvel 11. You got the... what the heck am I talking about? Oh yeah, Miss Marvel 11. That's going to be your first full appearance of that Storm Ranger. She made her... had that cameo, or well, first appearance right at the end of the book in number 10. But her first full appearance will be in number 11, which comes out January 8th. So that's one you want to get on your pull list. I've talked about Batman. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of Tom King's writing, but Batman 86 is when Tynion starts taking over. And I read early on when it was released that there was a new villain showing up in 86. And even if there isn't, make sure you pick up 86 onwards, because it'll be it's going to be a whole new take on the Batman storyline and everything else. So that's what, and there's a really nice cover B cardstock for that one as well. So that's January 8th. Star number 1, the miniseries, comes out January 8th as well. That looks really good. And more than likely, you're going to get more of an origin story and everything else. But expect other stuff to pop up in there. It's not just going to be her flying around. You know, you probably learn about how the Reality Stone and a bit more of that. So, and you may even find out some of the other. I mentioned before too that there's going to be a bunch of other people showing up, or characters showing up with the Reality Stone. We got 4 more to go. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out something in there about that. Thor number 1, big one, you know, as you all know, that comes out January 1st from Donny Cates. That looks really good. Wonder Woman 750. I don't know. I'm going to get a couple covers. This is a $10 book, so it's pricey. That comes out January 22nd. And there's a ton of covers like they do for all these books. I'm pretty sure it'll be prestige bound and everything else, but the last few of these, we've got some new characters showing up, so I wouldn't doubt that something's going to be in there that pops up that'll be interesting, worth having, but it's going to be a high print run, so you know, don't go too crazy on it, but it's worth getting. Doll Island, that comes out December 18th. That's just another week and a bit away. That looks really cool, and I really like Esteban Salinas' artwork, and he's got a limited cover for that, and man, it's nice, which you'll see on the screen right now. That's through Black Cape Comics, as usual. That's who he seems to do his stuff through. That looks like a really cool story. I'm going to definitely pick that one up. Also wanted to mention Captain Marvel 12. There's a second print coming out January 8th by Sorrentino. That's a really nice looking cover, so that's one I'm going to get for sure. And last one is Jenica number 1. It's from IDW. That comes out February 19th. It's going to be her first solo. It's a miniseries, a 3-part miniseries. And it's her first kind of solo title. And there is a new villain showing up in that whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle world. So if you're a big fan of that, get that one on your pull list, because that one, you still got time to pre-order that one through your shop. So if that's something you're interested in, get that one for sure. Anyways, that's it. Now I'm going to wrap it up. Take care, everyone. Happy hunting. Talk to you later in the week. Bye for now.